Khan Shalom. All praise and glory go to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Waraka Kudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Apostle Tar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Ramlab, and the Shalom to all the sincere Achim that are pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Now, with that being said, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel that the Bible speaks about, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. The people that live in the land of Israel today, they go back to the Khazarians, which go back to the Amalekites, which is the chief head tribe of the nation of Esau, Edom, the red people of the Bible in the world, and the people that call themselves white, Caucasian, European, American. These are all Edomites, and they go back to the nation of Esau, Edom as well. But these videos are made to wake up our people, which are people, I mean the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to bring them back to Yahweh Bashem Yashai, which is the Heavenly Father's name and His Son's name, because He is about to pass heavy judgment upon this planet Earth. Now, this is a very interesting article, and this has been taught by the apostles for years, This is very interesting, and it shows that we're close to World War III, all right? Now it says, Israelis say they will attack Iran if Biden returns U.S. to nuclear deal. Now, the thing is that Trump, he said he wasn't really about war, you understand? So he was proud to be the only president that didn't go into war, which he actually did a good job for the Americans. He did a few things, here and there. But for Jake, of course, everything stayed the same. So again, it says Israelis say they will attack Iran if Biden returns U.S. to nuclear deal. Okay, and where is that in the scriptures? Let me read that. This is Jeremiah 50:45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. You see? So what will happen is eventually Babylon will go into war, and the least of his flocks shall draw him into that war, Just like Russia is going to be dragged into the war, defending Iran and these other weaker countries, Babylon is going to be dragged into the war by the country they call Israel, which are actually not the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. So they're the red people, Israeli officials have made their opposition to the Biden administration returning to the Iran nuclear deal known. Some have even threatened a military strike on Iran if President Biden revives the deal known as the JCPOA. And you already know the stance of Iran. Iran will defend itself no matter what, all right? It don't matter if you have superior weapons or nothing like that. They are going to defend themselves, okay? An Israeli source affirmed this to Breaking Defense in an article published on Monday. Israel needs to know and fast whether Washington plans to stop Iran's race to the bomb or take some action to do this. The source says, speaking on the condition of anonymity. So we just might be in a war this year, man, because things are moving fast. It's not only the Crown 19 that you got to worry about. It's all these prophecies that are coming to pass, all right? That will block everything. That will instantly bring a lot of things to pass. It could easily bringing a lot of prophecies. You have famine is about to come. All these type of things they already know. They at least already know what they're doing, man. The source said that Israeli intelligence is monitoring Iran's nuclear facilities closely. Israel Israeli airstrikes on Syria were also mentioned, which have ramped up in recent months. This pressure will continue and grow as a preparation for a direct attack on targets in Iran. Okay, the source said of airstrikes in Syria. Israel always claims its airstrikes in Syria hit Iranian targets, but they usually strike Shia militias. Last week, an Israeli airstrike hit Syria that reportedly killed 4 civilians and destroyed 3 houses. Okay, so let me just read a couple of scriptures right here, man. Uh, and that also shows you that they're divided, man. One country doesn't want to go to war, but the other one does. You know, a house divided against itself shall not stand, man. So Revelation 11 and 9, was it? Revelation 11 and 9. Yeah. No. Yeah, 14. Salakia. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You see? You know, so it says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The second woe is past. The second big destruction is past. The Second World War is past, you know. But the third woe cometh quickly, you know. And I can go to Revelation 9 and 12 as well. Revelation 9 and 12. 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter, you know. So there's would be three world wars, you know. Israel always claims its airstrike. Okay, earlier this month, Tzaki Hanechbi, an Israeli minister from the Likud party, made the most direct public threat against Iran. Hanechbi said that if the U.S. returns to the JCPOA, that Israel joint comprehensive JCPOA is joint comprehensive. I forgot what the P was for. Of atomic energy, something like that. That Israel will again be alone against Iran and will attack Iran's nuclear program. Okay. It will once again be alone. And he actually got a point there because these countries are kind of divided. You know, America will eventually still defend Israel no matter what, you know, because they're bought and paid for, you know. So this is Daniel 9. Let me see. No, not 9. What am I doing, man? Daniel 2. Not Daniel 9. Daniel 2 and 43, I believe. Daniel chapter 2 verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, you know, and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. You see? So they're going to be completely separated, you know. Europe is not going to be behind this, you know. Europe already said that they don't recognize Juan Guaido as the interim president of Venezuela, so their stances is already divided with a lot of other things. So they have divided interests as well, you know. So this is as breaking defense is, you know, because Israel is scared of getting destroyed by Iran. They claim, you know. But they have they don't want other countries to be just as powerful as them, you know. So that's basically what it is. Breaking defense, its source, and Hanigbi all pushed a narrative that Iran is racing towards a bomb when that is not the case. One example they use is the fact that Iran recently increased uranium enrichment to 20%, which is still vastly lower than the 90% needed for weapons-grade uranium. Despite the hype, the 20% enrichment has a civilian purpose. It allows Iran to make fuel rods for its Tehran research reactor, a facility that was built by the U.S. in the 1960s that can produce medical isotopes. You know, and that's a beautiful thing because the United States itself, they started this whole thing. Meanwhile, while Iran was basically on their side, and they had a puppet government, puppet ruler over there. So that's that Psalms 10. You know, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. What is that, Job? Job 5. If it's not Job 5, it's yes, this is Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So that's a funny thing, man. They made that reactor themselves, So that's a very funny thing, actually. And that's, yeah, Yahweh Shemashai, he has a sense of humor, man. Another crucial piece of context left out of the Breaking Defense article is the reason why Iran started enriching uranium at 20%. Iran's parliament passed a bill to increase enrichment after the November assassination of Mohsen Farizadeh, the prominent Iranian scientist who was killed in an apparent Israeli plot. So it was Israeli aggression, again, that led to the increased enrichment. Iran was maintained that it is willing to return to compliance with the JCPOA if the Biden administration lifts sanctions. Any more attacks from Israel could prevent Iran from decreasing enrichment levels. Let me read that part again. It said any more attacks from Israel could prevent Iran from decreasing enrichment levels. So either way is going to come to a confrontation, because they say if Israel keeps attacking them, they will not decrease enrichment levels. So that means that they will have enough uranium to build bombs. And Israel already said that they won't allow Iran to make nuclear bombs or have, And the other side, it said, what does it say? If Biden joins the JCPOA again, they will attack Iran, And let's read what Iran is going to do, because it's in the book of the Apocrypha, right? So this is Second Ezra, verse 15, chapter 15, verse 29. Let me verse 28. That's a beautiful way to start. Verse 26. For Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivered them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, an horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, which is the Iranians, the Persians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And you know what a boar does in the wood, man. They attack anything and everything, and they kill a lot of animals as well. They can even kill humans if you don't watch out. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which is talking about the Edomites. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall return themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. So they will get scared of these Ishmaelites and so-called Muslim countries, coming together under the banner of Islam to go against America and his allies. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and there are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. So that shows you that it's going to be a very tough war going to be fought because of these Israelis, man. So they say they will attack Iran if Biden returns U.S. to nuclear deal, which is good news for us. Let's go to Habakkuk, and I'm gonna finish with that one. Because that's a beautiful scripture also. Habakkuk 2 and 3. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. You see that? So with that, I want to say all praise and glory go to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. And Shalom.